Salam Sejahtera and welcome to the inaugural edition of Perception on TV Pass. The primary objective of this program is to analyze current issues that are topics of daily concerned discussion among multicultural Malaysians of all walks of life. Our distinguished guest in this inaugural edition of Perception is Yang Berhormat Saudara Khalid Samad, the Honourable Member of Parliament for Shah Alam. YB, on behalf of TV Pass, I thank you for taking time of your busy schedule to be with us today. Ladies and gentlemen, our topic of discussion today is the Men in Blue or Police di Raja Malaysia. YB, there is growing public anxiety over the proactive, provocative action of the police on Pakatan Rakyat, very especially Dato' Sri Anwar Ibrahim, in contrast to the indifferent inaction when it comes to police reports against the Barisan Nasional. Is there a basis for this growing public anxiety?
Yes, Gilbert, thank you very much. Good morning to all. I think there is clearly a basis for such anxiety, because the heavy-handed tactics that are being used by the police in respect to Pakatan Rakyat programs are very visible to everybody, and anyone who's interested in the political development in the country will see how differently we are treated when compared to Barisan Nasional. In case of Barisan Nasional, you can have programs, you can have dramas, even without any police report, and they can have it anywhere they wish. Where else, in our case, we are always restricted, and even when we have informed the police, we are normally denied the police report. And when it comes to Dato' Sri Anwar Ibrahim personally, almost every one of his dramas have been disrupted by the police, and this is obviously a great concern to the public, wherein I believe the understanding of the democratic process is on the increase. People are more aware of democracy and the democratic rights, and they see this as a very unfair and very one-sided attitude by an institution which is being paid for by the public, but is actually acting only in the interest of Barisan Nasional.
YB, after being on the hot seat for 9 months, the IGP, Tan Sri Ismail Omar, his contract has been extended for another 2 years. Despite this change of leadership at the helm of PDRM, there is no change on the unfair treatment of Dato' Sri Anwar Ibrahim or the continued harassment and intimidation of Pakatan Rakyat when they hold Meet the People gatherings. What is your view of this situation?
Yes, I think it's been clearly specified, I believe, that whoever holds the post of the IGP prior to his appointment, I'm very sure he has been briefed of the role that he's expected to play. And as we see in many of the programs which are being held for civil servants, such as the program which includes a question of indoctrination of the civil servants, they are being informed that the Malays in particular are being or are under siege, right? So the current mentality of all prominent civil servants is that of wanting to make sure that UMNO in particular and Barisan Nasional in general will remain in power, and that their role is to ensure that the position of the Malays will be protected by making sure that the opposition does not make any progress. But obviously this is not the truth, because as far as Pakatan Rakyat is concerned, we are equally committed to to the basic fundamentals in the constitution, and there is no desire on any part or any party within the Pakatan Rakyat to challenge or to undermine the position of any race. Yeah, it is our belief that the nation as a whole should prosper, and that there is no need for any how do you say unequal or uneven or unjust treatment to any of the races, including the Malays. Yeah, that everybody should be given a fair share of the wealth of the nation. Yeah. So given this kind of indoctrination, yeah, I believe that the IGP, whoever he may be, will come with that kind of political perception that his role, in order to ensure public safety, public security, political stability, you know, he must play a role which is political in nature and which benefits Barisan Nasional. And this is where we have to educate the public, including the civil servants, yeah, that they should not fear the possibility of change, and they should allow the rakyat to make a decision for the benefit of the country as a whole. Yeah.
Okay. YB, it is generally perceived that the last Honourable Inspector General of Police to helm the PDRM was Tun Hanif Omar. After him, there has been a drastic decline in public confidence towards PDRM. What is the real reason for this sad state of affairs?
Yeah, okay. I don't really think that Tan Sri Hanif Omar was exceptionally different from all the other IGPs. You know, it's just that the circumstances were different, yeah? And the conflict and the rift between Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim and Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad only happened after Tan Sri Hanif Omar's time. If it had been Tan Sri Hanif Omar in power at that time as well, I believe he would probably cave into the pressure exerted by the Prime Minister, who at that time, as we know, had already been able to corrupt all the institutions, you know, even prior to that, you know, the case of Tun Salih Abbas and all this had occurred before that. And I think that the situation in Malaysia, where the Prime Minister was all powerful, you know, at that point in time and even till now, is something which is a political culture that has to be changed, right? So after Tan Sri Hanif Omar, when the rift between Datuk Seri Anwar and Tun Mahathir came to the surface, then of course the situation became very desperate, particularly for Dr. Mahathir Mohamad, because we know that Anwar was trying to bring about changes and opposing some of the moves on the part of Dr. Mahathir, and there were many skeletons in the closet which Anwar had access to, and did make police reports after that, yeah? As a result of which he was in the end victimized, and he himself was put into prison, whereas the people who actually misused their position of power, such as Tan Sri Rahim Tambici, such as Dr. Mahathir Mohamad, such as Gani Patail, and all these people were let off the hook. Yeah. So I think the conflict tested the professionalism of the police force, and unfortunately, given the political culture that was in the country, they bowed down to the pressure, and they became a party to acts which were completely non-professional, which included the tampering of evidence and question of hiding evidence, yeah, to such an extent that we cannot differentiate the actions of the police from the actions of what would, you know, if you had an official mafia, yeah, in the country, they would be acting in a similar way, right? Where they actually worked to implicate a person who was innocent in order that he be found guilty, by tampering with the DNA evidence, by hiding various information, including the fact that Rahim Noor was the one who injured Datuk Sri, attacked and injured Datuk Sri Anwar Ibrahim, until, of course, when the Royal Commission of Inquiry was formed. Yeah.
YB, it is generally perceived by large sections of the public that the IGP can do very little about the negative perception of PDRM because he himself is merely following instructions. Even the former IGP, Tan Sri Musa Hassan, at his time of retirement alluded to interference by the Ministry of Home Affairs. So is the question of blame on the IGP or the Minister of Home Affairs?
Well, I think obviously when you're in that position of power, as the IGP, you cannot absolve yourself completely from responsibility. And this is where the IGP, we would expect to be a person who is credible, who has integrity, who himself does not have skeletons in the closet, which can then be used to pressurize him for to do things which are contrary to the demands of his position. Yeah. So even though we acknowledge that the Minister of Home Affairs and the government as a whole, is the main culprit, is the one that's corrupting the whole system and causing it to work in manners which are not correct. Yeah? But the IGP himself, had he taken a firm stand on these issues, then we would not be travelling down this road. Yeah? So currently, as what had been alluded to by Dato' Mat Zain, that once there is a lie that's being covered up, then for the past 12 years, everybody is working to cover up that one lie. And when you start lying, one lie leads to another. And for the past 12 or 13 years, unfortunately, this is the situation that we find ourselves in, where the Malaysian public is being lied to, where the institutions of justice are being manipulated, and so on and so forth. Yeah? So the final solution would be for a change in government, one that has no skeletons in the closet, and one that has no interest in continuing this culture of lies. Yeah? So that would be our final solution to the problem, which will free our men of blue from the corrupting influences of the people in power.
YB, we take a short break and we will return shortly.